Let me ask you something personal. When you looked in the mirror this morning, who did you see? Was it someone ready for opportunity and someone prepared for the call? Or was it someone who rolled out of bed, brushed off the day, and hoped that no one would notice? I learned something early in life that changed everything for me. You can't sell a diamond in a dirty display case. The value might be there, but no one sees it. And in the marketplace, perception is power. Whether you like it or not, people don't respond to your intentions, they respond to your presentation. The way you walk into the room tells the room how to treat you. It's not vanity, it's value. It's not about impressing people, it's about honoring yourself. You see, the mirror doesn't just reflect your face, it reflects your philosophy. If you roll out of bed without order, without care, without energy, that's not just appearance, it's attitude. An attitude is one of the most powerful forces you carry. I've met folks with $1 million mind dressed like a $5 afterthought, and they wondered why no one listened. I say, of course they didn't listen. You told the world before you opened your mouth that you weren't serious. I'm not saying you need to look like a celebrity. That's not the game. But you do need to show up like you mean it. You do need to carry yourself like your future depends on it, because it does. Now, I know this kind of message stings a little. We all want the world to see our heart, our ideas, our good intentions. But the truth is, the world sees your shoes before it sees your soul. That's just how it works. And if you ignore this truth, you can live a good life with small rewards. But if you master this truth, you open the door to bigger rooms, better partnerships, and richer opportunities. That's why I want to teach you a principle today. Not a trick, not a trend, but a law. A law about value and how you present it. A law about why the mirror matters and what it says about your discipline. So the question is simple. Would you buy from you? Would you promote you? Would you hire you? Based on what you're showing the world? Let's talk about it. Let me introduce you to a law I learned the hard way. One that can change your income, your identity, and your entire trajectory, if you're willing to look in the mirror with new eyes. There is a simple, undeniable law that governs every transaction you ever make, whether in business, relationships, or life itself. It's the law of market perception. The law says this: you don't get paid for effort alone, you get paid for perceived value. Now that might sound like a harsh truth, but it's as fair as the rising sun. The marketplace isn't a place of fairness or kindness, it's a place of response and reaction. It responds to what it sees, not what it hopes or assumes. You can be the hardest worker in the world, but if you look like you're not serious, you won't be taken seriously. If you dress like a man who's giving up, the world will give up on you. If you don't respect yourself enough to show up clean, alert, and ready, how can you expect others to respect your ideas, your time, or your talents? Now let me be clear, this is not about wearing expensive clothes or chasing fashion trends. You don't have to be a model or a millionaire to command respect. What you need is to be intentional. You need to care about how you present yourself, because that presentation is your first promise to the world. It says, I'm ready, I'm disciplined, I'm worth your time. And that promise matters, because you see, in the game of life and business, perception is your opening move. If you walk in the door and don't look like you're in the game, you've already lost the first round. Think about the people you admire, the leaders, the entrepreneurs, the great communicators. They don't just have talent, they carry themselves with a certain confidence that says, I'm prepared for success. And that confidence isn't luck, it's habit. It's a commitment to the discipline of appearance. It's the understanding that the marketplace is not moral, it's responsive. It's the reason why the sharpest dresser at a meeting often gets the first chance to speak, the extra second to explain, and the callback when no one else does. So how do you measure up? Are you sending the right signals or the wrong ones? Because it's not about being perfect. It's about being present, prepared, and polished enough to say, I am someone worth investing in. That's the law. Fix your appearance and you raise your perceived value. Neglect it and you stay stuck, no matter how hard you work behind the scenes. The good news? This law is always in your favor if you're willing to obey it. And the first step to obeying is breaking down the myths that hold you back. There are 3 big myths about appearance that keep people from stepping up to their true potential, and it's time to call them out for what they are: excuses that hold you back from your best life. The first myth is this: people should accept me as I am. Now, maybe in an ideal world, that would be true. Maybe people would look beyond the surface and see your true worth. But the world as it is, it's not that kind. And you're not doing yourself any favors pretending otherwise. If you show up looking like you don't care, people will assume you don't care. And if you don't care about yourself, why should they? The second myth is the old favorite. It's what's on the inside that counts. And while that's true, inside counts the most. It's not enough to say it and ignore the outside, because what's inside always shows through. It shows in your posture, in your clothes, in your energy. If you're disorganized inside, it leaks out as sloppiness outside. If you're tired and unfocused inside, it shows in your eyes and your walk. Your appearance is the first demonstration of your discipline. It's the visible footprint of your invisible character. So to neglect appearance is to neglect a critical channel of your personal philosophy. The third myth, looking sharp is for the vain. Nothing could be further from the truth. Discipline is not vanity. Discipline is respect. Respect for yourself and for those you serve. When you take care of your appearance, you're sending a message that you value your time, your talents, and your opportunities. You're telling the world that you show up, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally ready to perform. And if you don't show up like that, you're sabotaging yourself before you begin. So it's time to stop believing these myths. It's time to face the truth that your appearance is not just about looks. It's about leadership. It's about discipline. It's about how you take responsibility for your own life. And it's the first piece of your puzzle if you want to rise beyond broke and step into your full potential. Now that we've cleared these roadblocks, let me share a story that will bring this law to life for you, the day I realized the power of how I showed up. I want to take you back to a day in my life that I never forgot, a day that changed everything for me. It was a simple moment, really, but one loaded with lessons. I was a young man working hard but still struggling, and I found myself face to face with a little Girl Scout selling cookies. She was full of energy with that determined sparkle in her eyes that you can't fake. She was offering me a box of cookies, just $2. But that $2 wasn't in my pocket that day. I remember feeling embarrassed, ashamed, and frustrated all at once. I didn't want to admit I couldn't pay, so I told her I already had plenty at home. The truth was, I didn't have enough money, and that truth hit me harder than any loss. But it wasn't just about the money. It was about how I showed up in life. That day I looked poor, not just in my wallet, but in my posture, my energy, my presence. I realized that I was invisible in the eyes of opportunity because I wasn't presenting myself as someone ready to receive it. It was a wake-up call. I realized that no matter how hard I worked, if I didn't look like I belonged in the room, I was giving away my power. The way you walk in the door tells the room how to treat you. It's a message louder than any words. That moment wasn't about cookies. It was about respect, self-respect, and the respect you command from others. I understood then that fixing my financial situation wasn't just about making more money. It was about becoming more valuable in every way, starting with how I showed up. I had to stop wishing for an easier life and start wishing for a sharper me. I had to dress like success, act like success, and believe like success. Because what you believe about yourself radiates out and influences how the world responds. So I began to work on my appearance, not to impress others superficially, but to discipline myself deeply. Every detail mattered: my clothes, my grooming, my posture, the energy I brought to a room. These things weren't just surface level. They were reflections of my character and my commitment. I learned that people want to do business with those who look like they take care of their business. The marketplace rewards those who show up ready, disciplined, and proud. I tell you this story not to make you feel bad, but to make you aware. If you want to stop being broke, you have to start showing up like you're worth something. Your appearance is the first visible demonstration of your invisible discipline. It's the foundation of your personal brand and the gatekeeper of your opportunities. You cannot afford to overlook it. Now, knowing this, how do you begin? What does this law look like in practice? How do you transform your appearance into a tool that attracts success? That's what I want to walk you through next. A simple daily audit that can change how you present yourself to the world and, in turn, change the results you attract. Now that you understand the law, that your appearance signals your value to the marketplace, the question is, how do you make it work for you every single day? How do you go from knowing this principle to living it so it becomes a natural part of your success routine? The answer is simple but powerful: a daily 5-minute audit. Think of it as a personal quality check, a moment each morning when you stop, look in the mirror, and ask yourself a few essential questions about how you show up. Here's what you do. First, check your posture. Are you standing tall? Are your shoulders back, your chest out, your head held high? Posture is not just about looking good. It's about sending a message to yourself and others that you are confident, capable, and ready to take on the day. Slouching or dragging your feet tells the world you're tired before you even start. It's a subtle signal that you're not quite engaged. Fix your posture, and you fix your mindset. Next, look at your face. Is it clean, alert, and awake? Your face is a billboard for your energy and enthusiasm. It reveals whether you're dragging through the day or shining with purpose. Take a moment to splash some water, groom yourself properly, and meet your own eyes in the mirror with a look that says, I'm ready. When you look alive to yourself, others will feel it too. Then, examine your clothes. Do they say respect? Respect for yourself and respect for those you're about to meet? You don't have to wear expensive brands, but you must wear intentional clothes. Clothes that fit, are clean, and show that you care about the impression you leave. Remember, a product poorly packaged is often passed over, no matter how good the product inside is. Your clothing is your packaging. Take care of it. Ask yourself, am I projecting the person I want to be paid to be? This is critical because the marketplace does not separate who you are from how you look. They see the whole package. If your appearance says you're casual about your commitments, don't be surprised when your paycheck reflects that. But if your appearance says you are disciplined, organized, and professional, your opportunities will rise to meet you. Finally, remind yourself daily, I don't have to be rich to look sharp. I have to be intentional to look sharp. Intentionality is the secret. Discipline in appearance is discipline in life. This daily 5-minute audit is not about vanity. It's about responsibility. It's about honoring yourself enough to give your best to the world each day. You can start this ritual tomorrow morning. And as you do, watch how your energy changes, how doors open, and how people begin to treat you differently. This is a small step with huge returns. Now, to make it stick, you need a commitment. And that's what we're going to talk about next. How to raise your appearance standard for the next 30 days, without excuses, without exceptions, and with a new mindset that's built to last. Now that you've got the understanding and the daily audit in place, it's time for the real work, the commitment. Discipline is what separates those who dream from those who do. And fixing your appearance isn't a one-time act. It's a daily discipline that demands consistency and resolve. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 30 days, no exceptions, no excuses. Commit to showing up every day as if your life depends on it, because it does. I'm not talking about vanity. I'm talking about respect. Respect for yourself, respect for your dreams, respect for the opportunities you want to claim. Even on the days you don't feel like it, even when the world drags you down, you get up, you dress sharp, you stand tall, and you show up ready. This simple, consistent act creates momentum. It rewires your identity. It tells your mind and your environment, I am serious, I am disciplined, I am ready. You see, discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. Every morning you skip this, you add weight to the regret you'll carry tomorrow. But every morning you do it, you lighten the load, you build your confidence, and you raise your worth in the eyes of the world. The 30-day practice is about proving to yourself that you can be that person, the kind of person who respects themselves enough to take care of their appearance, and through it, take control of their life. Repeat this to yourself. Look sharp, walk tall, speak clear, every day. Let it be your mantra, your ritual, and by the end of these 30 days, don't be surprised when the world begins to respond differently. Your income, your relationships, your self-respect, they all start rising in step with the discipline you show on the outside. Because, my friend, appearance is discipline made visible. You cannot separate the two. So start tomorrow, commit now. Fix your appearance and watch what happens to your fortune. Before we finish, I want to leave you with a truth that goes beyond clothes, posture, or grooming. You see, the mirror is not just a reflector of your face. It's a report card of your life. It tells the world who you are, but more importantly, it tells you who you are becoming. The person you see in that reflection is either the person who attracts success or the person who repels it. The choice is yours. Remember, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Success is not some distant prize waiting to be handed to you. It is a process, a way of being. And appearance is one of the first steps on that path because it's the visible sign of invisible discipline. When you neglect how you show up, you send a message of neglect in all other areas of your life. But when you take care of your appearance, you demonstrate self-respect and commitment. the very qualities that attract opportunity, wealth, and respect. There are two roads. One leads to drift, to being overlooked, to staying broke. The other leads to discipline, to respect, to becoming valuable. Fix your appearance, not for vanity, not for others, but to become someone you respect. To become the person who looks like success because that person is success in the making. So start tomorrow morning. Start with the mirror. Look yourself in the eye and make a promise, not to anyone else, but to yourself, that you will show up differently. You will carry yourself with the dignity of someone who commands respect and earns reward. When you do that, don't be surprised if the world begins to treat you differently, because people respond to the energy you bring, and that energy starts with you. This is not just about clothes or grooming. It is about who you are becoming in every fiber of your being. Fix your appearance, and you fix your future. From this day forward, you no longer drift into the day as if you're invisible. You command it. You decide who you are by how you show up. For the next 30 days, commit to this daily ritual. Look sharp, walk tall, speak clear, and carry yourself like the person you want to become. Then come back and tell me what changed. Share your experience in the comments. Write this simple declaration: tomorrow I begin. Let that be your first step toward a richer life. Ask yourself, what would it feel like to be noticed, respected, and paid what you're truly worth? That starts with your appearance. Don't wait another day. Begin now. Look in the mirror and say, I am ready. Then go out and prove it.